Good evening, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 59 of Walking with Jay. I'm your host, Jeremy Vincent Henry Larson, out here in windy St. George, Utah. The clouds have come in and it looks like there's a chance of rain tonight, so I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to walk, as I don't really want my camera slash cell phone getting soaked. So yeah, kind of a blustery day here tonight, so we're just gonna keep walking and getting the steps in and talk about what's on my mind. So I guess I'll talk a little louder tonight, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I just kind of feel like tonight I need to talk a little bit about grieving and mourning and the process of grieving. Had a friend of mine passed away yesterday, and can't really talk too much about it because I'm not exactly sure how much information I can share, being that he's someone that I work with, and you know, there's a thing called HIPAA, which is a privacy law, and there are pretty severe penalties if you break the privacy law and stuff like that. And it kind of makes me feel sad because I feel like I can't really honor my friend the way that I would like to. So my friend will remain unnamed, but yeah, it's just a sudden and a sad thing, you know. And so I just so we went to work today, and you know, spent the day basically just going through some of the grieving process with my other peers whom I work with. And you know, everybody responds differently to grief and to loss. I thought tonight about it is super windy out here, so anyway, talk about the different stages of grief, because I remember hearing about that, and I remember at one point in my life like really being interested in what those different stages are. So I looked it up tonight. It's from a book called On Grief and Grieving by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and David Kessler, and it's just they just talk about how people respond to loss. They talk about the 5 different stages of grief. One being denial, another being anger, another being bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And you know, I don't even, as I read through those, I don't know where I would even be on that scale, you know. I just miss my friend, I really do. I just miss him. Can't even say him, but anyway. So I miss my friend. Anyway, so yeah, so we talk about denial. I think about the other times in my life when I've lost people, and I think about when Matt and I moved up to Seattle, Washington. We were trying to become rock stars right when I got out of the Navy, you know. I don't think Matt even had finished high school, and we decided we were just gonna go for it. And we had no idea what we were doing, but we went up there anyway. And we didn't have any money, and my grandpa, whom I dearly loved, Henry Rush, and he passed away while we were up there, and we couldn't afford, at the time we couldn't afford to make the trip to Salt Lake for the funeral. And so I felt really bad about that, you know. So yeah, so I just, that was kind of depressing back in the day. So that's, we talk about the stages of grief and stuff like that. So, and when my grandma died, I don't know what was wrong with me during that period, grandma rush. And Stacy and I had a very young family at the time, and I just kind of lost it, you know. I just lost perspective on things during that period, and it was just, I just was not a very cool person during that time, you know. And so I had anger, and I just had, I don't know, I didn't handle my grandma's passing very well, you know. And so I just remember Stacy and I got in a big argument, and I don't even remember what it was over. I was just inconsolable, I think, during the time, you know, and I don't know, I feel really bad about that. I regret that looking back. So what else? And then when my grandma Larson died, my dad's mom, I went up to her funeral with my brother and with my dad, and you know, that was a very neat trip for us to go on. We got to laugh and sing together, and we sang at her funeral, so we got to practice singing on the drive to Tonasket. And so, you know, laughter, it's amazing that that even during the sad times when you feel sad for losing people, that you can still engage in laughter, and you can still engage in singing and those different type of things. And so as I went to work today, I work at a Clubhouse, and I work with adults who have gone through some pretty, it's super windy. I don't know if this can sound. There have been people who've gone through some pretty severe trauma in their lives, you know, recovering from mental illness and stuff. And so, but the people I work with never cease to amaze me at how resilient they are, and how compassionate they are, and how just loving and caring and supportive of each other they are. And it was just so neat today to go there. My role is as a peer support specialist, and I felt just as supported by my peers as I felt that I was supporting my peers. So just a super neat day today. Yeah, they just never cease to amaze me at how strong they are and how resilient they are, but also how tender and how fragile and how sensitive they can be. And so we're all just humans going through this human experience, you know, and part of that human experience is loss, and we're all going to end up, you know, we're all going to end up deceased at some point, you know. And so the interesting thing is that I'm not exactly sure how many people uh-oh, I got security here.
So it's Mojo. Mojo's pretty famous. Yeah. he's gotten a picture with the governor recently. Very cool. You want to see it? I like bragging about it. Mojo.
Hi, Joe.
Good nice to meet you. I work with Tread.
Nice.
You know, and I try to sneak around. Yeah, I do chew. I'm not LDS, so I get to chew. Let me show you real quick if I can brag about it. Yeah, I won an award, so it allowed me to stop.
What's your dog's name?
Mojo.
Mojo.
Mojo, come here. No pooping on the grass. Hey, over here. Let's go. Let's go. Can't hear me. Mojo. Gotta go. Let's go. Sorry, I'm loud.
That's all right.
Right here. Right here. Stop. Sit down. Right there. Stay right there. Thank you. I don't have to worry about him running off. I mean, he does what he wants, but... Oh, here it is.
So what award did
I won an award, but he got to be there with me. That's the Governor Herbert.
Very cool. Look at that.
Where am I?
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I won what's called the Carnegie Hero Fund Award. You want me
Just
to
a
tell you?
little,
Just
yeah,
a
for
little.
sure.
So there was this, it's in the news. If you go to St. George News, look up, no, I sound the air again. Like
No, it's all right.
Extraordinary Joe. It's, there's a clip there where it talks about, there was an incident about March 31st, 2016, where a lady was driving her vehicle. I jumped on it pretty much because I saw that she was swerving, and I had a hole in my foot from surgery from shrapnel. I was a vet. I'm a vet, so I had some going on there, and they had to get in there and get it. So it was open. Anyways, I jumped on a car. I had to swerve around cars and all that. Pull in the parking lot, did CPR on her. That is like the most brief. You can go online and look it up, but
I will look it up.
And then
sure.
my foot was all bleeding and all that. So I guess besides all the awards I got around here, I got that one too. That's an international award. So yeah, got me a picture with the Governor.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, cool. Gotta lose some weight.
That's what I think you want to walk.
Oh really?
So, huh?
No.
Oh, okay. I just looked at the line.
Oh. I work for Trade. We got a lot of lanyards.
Okay.
Sorry, Army.
Army.
Shame on me for wearing this. No, I gotta go do some security checks. So,
Well, it's
anyways,
good to meet you.
what was it called again? I'm gonna look
Walking with Jay.
at it. Walking with Jay.
That's our little thing.
Okay.
All right, come on. No, that was fun. Yeah, that made my day. Here I thought I was in trouble. I don't like getting in trouble. But anyway, so yeah, okay, so what was I talking about? Grief. I was talking about grieving. Very interesting. Yeah, that was kind of cool. That was kind of sometimes the show gets hijacked, you know, and I always like that one. That's the first time that's ever happened, but anyway, very cool. Geez, what do we know? I feel happy now. Gee whiz. We're talking about loss, so, and we talked about. I don't know where I was at, so I'm just gonna keep going here. Yeah, you know, to me, the only reason why we feel loss is because we feel love, and so you can't have loss. I don't think a feeling of loss and all of that unless you've experienced love, you know, and so. Yeah, that's just part of the human experience, you know, loving and loss. So yeah, I was talking a little bit about Stacy's mom when she passed away, how sad that was, and that's still sad. And I think one of the things that comes up is like on anniversaries of a person's passing, or birthdays and Christmas and different things like that. It's like where the trauma of that loss gets resurfaced, you know. Man, my hair looks terrible. Anyway, I'm out in the wind. What do you expect? I do need a haircut though. Anyway, so back to it. Talking about the trauma of loss and how anniversaries sometimes will bring that up again. But you know what I really think is neat is that when you have a community around you to help you out to get through those tough times of loss and grief and things like that, yeah, it's super important to have support. And I have another friend who recently experienced one of those anniversaries, and I could tell in the way that she presented her reaction to it, there was still some anger involved with it and hurt, you know. And I heard once, and if I heard it once, I probably heard it 1,000 times. But these are things that we don't get over, you know. We get through, is what I heard. And I can relate to that a lot, you know. Who wants to get over it? You know, nobody really wants to. It is just something that you get through. and as time passes, I think healing does happen. And so yeah, anyway, life is hard, and it's hard to deal with loss. It's hard to deal with the permanency of it. Like one of my friends said, I can't even really quote, so yeah, anyway, I'm too nervous about HIPAA and stuff like that. I don't want to get fined or arrested or any of that garbage. You saw how nervous I was with just a security guard. Yeah, anyway, so what else do I want to say about it? Grief and how it hits everybody differently, you know. And so what do we do with grief? I don't know. Like I was saying, it's very important to have that support network, that you know, people who are going to love you and accept you no matter what grief you're going through, you know. And no matter how you handle it, are you in denial over it? Are you angry over it, you know? Are you bargaining, you know? So I don't know. Anyway, I'm a little bit in la la land tonight, guys. I really am. I'm still trying to process the loss for myself, of a friend, a dear friend, someone who was just really kind and cool and laid back, and just a good sport about life, you know, and someone who'd already been through hell as far as I'm concerned. And so yeah, you know, so I'm missing my friend, and I look forward to getting back to work tomorrow and hanging out with my other friends and healing together and healing through this process together, which is what we do at Clubhouse. And geez, I'm just so fortunate to have that job. I really am. There are days when I feel like I don't know if I can continue the line of work, because sometimes it really is taxing, but it's times like these where the true nature of peer support kind of shines through, you know. And so it's times like these that I feel ultra blessed to have the job that I have and the role that I have as a peer support specialist. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I wish you all well tonight. I really do. It was interesting having a special guest that I hadn't planned. You know, it's always nice to have a guest on the show. Just hope that you know, I got a couple of requests tonight asking me if I was going to walk tonight, and that really made me feel good. Joe and Dave, I really appreciate you guys asking me if I was going to walk tonight, because I really didn't know if I was going to. I already walked in the gym. I got my steps in already, but doing the show is kind of a different commitment that I have, and I think you all know that. And I just want to continue to do this as long as I can and as frequently as I can. So I appreciate your love and your support. And if you want to follow along on YouTube, you heard me talking to the security officer there. You know, go to Uncle Diz, D-I-Z-Z on YouTube, and please like and subscribe and comment too. You know, I would love to respond to some comments on the show. Anyway, I'm not an expert on grieving by any sense of the imagination, any stretch of the imagination. I have grieved several times. I'm super lucky in my life to have not lost as much as some, or as many times as some of you have. And so my heart is with you, and let's just continue to be cool with each other and stick together and put good stuff out into the world, and be lights in our communities, and lift people up, and all of those wonderful things that we can do to make this world a better place. And so I love you guys. God bless you. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.